I've been procrastinating on making this video because I wanted to make a very, very helpful video for you on how I put my training programs together, but I have been missing one very vital piece, which was a new notebook. I just went to Officeworks today and I bought a brand new one of these. So this is empty. It's my new notebook, and these are the books that I like to use when I plan out my training programs. So it's a nice, fresh new book, fresh new video, and I'm going to walk you through how I put my training programs together. This is actually part of my planning, right? So once I have a goal, I like to have a fresh new notebook to go with a fresh new goal. And at the start, I'm going to write my goal here. So I'm going to tell you what that is. That's the first part. So my exciting new goal, we're at the end of 2024 now. So this is for 2025. Is I'm going to write it down and then I'm going to show you. I am excited to announce that I am going to compete in the NPC IFBB bikini model competition on the 27th of July in Melbourne, at the Melbourne Pavilion. So something I did which was really helpful, and I highly recommend you do the same if you have a similar goal, is to first of all start learning the posing for that particular federation and for that particular category, so that you can put yourself into the poses, look at your body composition, match it up with someone who's winning it or is the ideal of what the judging criteria is for that category, which I've done and I'll show you now. And then I can look at my own photos and go, right, what do I want to work on in my off season to be better for that category? So these are the photos. I did Nat Kitney's online NPC bikini model posing course, which was really good. And I'll put the link in the description if you want to do it as well. So this is a shout out to her because that course was really, really helpful. Being able to do it from home and just watching it over and over again. So playing it, doing the poses, screenshotting the poses, filming myself, screenshotting myself, putting them together, and then looking and going, right, well, that's how my body looks in the pose now. What do I need to train to fit the criteria more? This is great because now both of my dogs are snoring in the background. So sorry if you have to listen to that. So if I look at these photos here and listening to Nat talk about the judging criteria, 100%, and this is what I'm writing down here now. So I've got the goal, or I've got the date and the deadline, but I definitely need, one of my goals for my training is, this is not body composition, is flexibility through my midsection. So I need to be able to arch more and rotate more. And I always needed that more in figure as well, but I definitely need more twist and arch through my midsection. So this is a flexibility theme. So I need to do a lot of mobility and flexibility work through the midsection, because that will help. Being able to arch and twist more creates more of that X shape. So, you know, wide through the top, tiny little waist, and then that nice round bum. So I absolutely need to work on my flexibility. And then when it comes to training and building muscle, I do have good shape in my shoulders, but I think I definitely need more in my rear shoulders. So rear delts, I need more there. I have, and this is just kind of a side issue, is I have a problem with my right elbow. This is my non-dominant side, and I've got, I think it's tendonitis. And it's probably just from years and years of just picking up plates over and over, being a trainer, working in the fitness industry, and just picking things up with both arms, but doing it awkwardly with my non-dominant arm. So I think the good thing is I don't need to have huge biceps. So I don't need to train my biceps anymore. So I can actually give my arms some rest as well, which I think is good news. It's just, that's something that I don't need to train. And even though I think in IFBB bikini, they cover their backs with their hair, it's still good to have good shape in your back. You just don't need to be really big and muscular. So I'm not going to need to train my arms, possibly triceps, but not much in the bicep, just not a lot of flexion through the elbow. Definitely more shape and definition through the bum. When it comes to my training, I think those are my focal points. I don't like having too many focal points, because I think your training should still be balanced, so you don't end up with too many muscle imbalances, but you should always have a focus. There should be something that you want to achieve out of the next 3 months or 6 months or 8 months. Then I like to split my workouts down into actual workouts. So each workout will have a theme, and I can generally get to the gym to strength train probably 4 times a week, but I don't program my workouts as per week workout. So it's not like a 4-day split. I'll just have 4 different workouts. So there'll be workout 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then every time I go to the gym to lift, I just do whatever workout is next in that sequence. So if I'm feeling particularly sore, I might take an extra day off. And then next time I go to the gym, I just do whatever workout is next in that sequence. So that means if I've got 4 different workouts, I might get through it in 6 days. And then the next week I might get through it in 8 days. So over a 3-month or a 6-month period, I will still end up lifting weights on average 4 times a week. Sometimes it might be a touch more or a touch less. To me, that makes sense in my brain to do it that way. Some people prefer things to be in like a 7-day cycle and have certain days that they train. But for me, I like to just self-regulate and sometimes take an extra day off if I need it. So there will be 4 workouts. There will definitely be 2 different leg days because I like having split focus. So it might be an anterior and a posterior. But I like having 2 different lower body workouts. So I'm just writing them out in my book like this. Now, there will definitely be one workout which is just shoulders. And when I just work out shoulders on its own, it's never a mega intense workout because it's just one muscle group and it's a small muscle group. But I would like to separate that out and do that on its own. So there will be a shoulder workout. There will be a back and chest workout. I like putting back and chest together. I always train chest, even if I don't want growth, even if I don't necessarily want growth in my chest, because I've always found that especially getting shape through the front of the shoulder was from pressing forward. So bench press, because when you're doing a shoulder press, it's a small muscle group. There's only so much load you can push up, but you can push it forward a lot more. So you can load your anterior deltoids a lot more with a chest press or a shoulder press. Plus you're actually loading your rear, as an antagonist. So I always like doing some heavy chest work specifically to get shape in my shoulders. So there'll be a shoulder workout, there'll be a back and chest workout, and there's going to be 2 separate leg workouts. So there'll be legs 1 and 2. So what I would usually do is I'll go to the gym and I'll do legs 1. Then next time I go, I'll do shoulders. Then next time I go, I do legs 2. Then next time I do back and chest, and then I go back to the start. So next time I go, then I do shoulders. So it's shoulders, legs, back and chest, legs. But there's the 2 different legs. So I always alternate that way, and I think that works really well. That's a system that works for me. So what I have also been doing is, this is my previous notebook. I was just messing around because over the last few months I have just kind of been doing whatever, making up things. So I had this idea brewing in my head that this is what I was going to do next year. But then I needed to see what my body looked like in the poses to start programming my workouts. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to change as we get closer, but it gives me something really good to focus on in my off season. Because especially now, while I've put a little bit of fat on since I've competed, but not a lot. So I can still see what my body is kind of going to look like when I get into condition for the show. So if I look at my 2 leg workouts, I've kind of got a good split going on here. So back and chest, so I'm warming up with a back exercise. So starting with a neutral grip pull down. Then I'm going to do a seated row, and it's wide. It's a wide grip seated row. Just a good way of recruiting through the upper back. Wide grip. Chest press machine. I just enjoy using the machine because, when you're training alone too, you've got no one to spot you, you've got no one to unrack and re-rack. And so sometimes just chest press machine is the way to go. Machine chest flies. And I've been finishing with a superset of close grip pull-ups and then floor push-ups. So that's all I've been doing for my back and chest at the moment. So I'm going to put that together now. So I do a full warm-up. At the start of a program, I start on higher reps, lower weight, and then over the weeks I progressively add weight and work and kind of periodize down into those really heavy rep ranges. So usually 2 working sets per exercise. So that's a back and chest workout. That'll probably take me about 45 minutes to get through. Shoulders I've been starting off with a standing barbell shoulder press, which has worked really well. I've been doing a seated dumbbell lateral raise, like an L shape one. So a push and then a pull. So I think it's good to have one of each. Seated L shape lateral raise. Then I moved on to a tricep curl machine, which was really good because it's got an easy bar in it. So it's quite easy on the elbow joint when you're using that wiggly bar. So I've got tricep curl. I might, when I put it together like this as well, because I'm starting to formulate how my program is going to work. This is still just brainstorming, because then what I do is when I go into the gym to do these workouts, I work with this, I take notes, and then I sometimes add things, take things out. So I probably should actually film myself doing each of these workouts in the gym so you can see how it starts as like just an idea, and then I formulate it as I go. So the first few weeks of this program will be like a deload, because I'm still kind of working out what exercise, what order I want to do the exercises in, whether I want to add something in, take something out. And then I'll be like, oh, this feels wrong with that. I think this will be better on that day. Yeah, so I do. There's a lot of trial and error. And then once I find a system I really like, then I just stick to it for 3 months, 6 months. There was one that I stuck to for like 1.5 years because I could just tell my body was just really responding to it really well. So I've got the first few exercises of my shoulder workout, but I'm actually just going to leave it for now until next time I'm in the gym doing shoulders. Okay, so for leg number 1, I really like doing, there's a hack squat machine. So this is legs 1 at the gym where I train at, which doesn't load your back at all. And I can go quite heavy on that one. So I think I'm saying quite heavy relative to what I lift on everything else. I would say that it's good because I'm around 90 kilos for that. And there's just no load at all through my back. It's just all of my legs and my quads, because you're kind of leaning back, and it's almost like you're doing, it's almost like, it feels like a front squat. You know, when you're loading, when you're holding weight in the front, you feel so much more load through your quads. This particular hack squat feels like that. So we're going to do the hack squat, the hip abductor machine. That's a great one to hit the glute medius. So I'm actually going to do that on both leg days. That one will be done twice a week. There's a donkey kickback machine, which I really like. One issue that I've always had is on my left leg, my big toe doesn't bend all the way back anymore. It's the knuckle starting to fuse a little bit. So I really struggle with split squats or any exercise where you have to bend your toes back. So donkey kickback machines are great for me because it's like my own variation of a split squat or a lunge. So I'm going to keep doing that. And then we've got a calf press machine. So I only ever have maybe 4 exercises, maybe 5, but the 5th one is normally something really small. So that's my first leg day. And then the other leg day, I'm going to put the hip thrust on there. Now with hip thrust, I only ever hip thrust if I can use a machine. I have never done a program with barbell hip thrust in it because I train alone, so I hate setting up and packing away. If there's too much farting around with setting up and packing away, I can't be bothered. But with a hip thrust machine, it's great because you can just put the racks on, the prongs come out the side and you can just whack the plates straight on. So I'm definitely going to do hip thrust. There's another hack squat machine there which does feel more like a squat and you're kind of laying back but the pads are there. So there's 2 different hip thrust machines I'm going to use in this program. Seated adductor is again, and then there's a kneeling leg curl machine which is really good. So that's going to formulate the basis of my program, and then each one of those, when I go into the gym, I'll actually start tracking what I'm doing, and I'll show you how I warm up, how I decide the working weights, how I go up in weight, because the way I train in terms of weight training is different in my off season to when I'm getting ready for a comp. So in one of my previous videos, you'll see I was doing Trish reps. That's just for comp prep. I don't do that in my off season. I do something else. It's kind of like, I think you could call it an ascending pyramid, what I would do off season. So I will show you that in an upcoming video. So make sure you subscribe. Okay, click that button. I'll put it around here somewhere. Anyway, make sure you subscribe. Really can't wait to take you on this new journey. Let's go.